We detected an unusual trade worth $500,000 on Gap stock, ticker symbol GAP. But here's what makes this even more interesting. Gap is scheduled to report earnings on August 28th after the market closes. And so in this video, we'll break down this unusual option activity to figure out whether this wealthy investor is bullish in buying, expecting the stock to move higher, or bearish in selling, expecting the stock to move lower. Because as we all know, the rich have more access to exclusive research and information, sometimes even leaked insider information, including potential access to earnings data before it's public, giving them an edge to make better, smarter financial decisions. This is how smart money always stays one step ahead, well before the rest of the market catches on. No wonder the rich get richer. And so to level the playing field, let's dive into our analysis to gain insights from the rich so that our subscribers and members can profit from this deep knowledge too. Speaking of members, if you were in our membership earlier this year, you would know that we went long bullish on Gap stock as one of our exclusive private trades that we shared with members only. That trade was very profitable because it ended near the 52-week high. We updated our trade on this day, May 2nd, and so this was the video update from May 2nd that we shared with gold level members on how we managed our trade, locking in 532% profit and rolling our options to update our trading strategy, so we gained even more after that because the stock went up even higher. So if you want to see exactly how we did this back on May 2nd, we'll put a link to this video here. It also gives a preview of the kind of content you get inside our membership, specifically at the gold level. Now, our trade already closed out near the 52-week high in May, about 3 months ago. So let's analyze the most recent data on how a wealthy investor is trading Gap, especially since earnings is coming up. So, as we can see here on the options time and sales tape, the most unusual trade happened on August 27th at 11:12 a.m. at the 17-second mark for these September 19 options at the 24 strike calls and the 28 strike calls. The quantity traded was 6,545 contracts, and these contracts were being traded at the listed option prices, so we can calculate how much this wealthy investor spent. Now, since this trade was executed as a vertical call spread, we'll first need to calculate the net cost per contract. So, we have an option price of 0.81 for the 24 strike calls. Keep in mind that options are priced per share, and since each options contract controls 100 shares of stock, to get the dollar value, we multiply by 100 or simply move the decimal 2 places to the right. That means each contract costs $81. Next, we subtract the premium received from the 28 strike calls, which was $12, giving us a net cost of $69 per contract. And so, when we multiply this by the total number of contracts traded, 6,545, we get a total trade size of approximately $451,000 for this unusual option activity. But keep in mind, the earnings report is being released soon, so this is a higher risk trade in comparison to the trades that we share on our website. And so if you want to get access to the lower risk trades with a higher probability of profit, then go to our website. We'll put a link up here. Keep in mind that our members also get earlier access to trades like this before anyone else, even before we share it with the public. So if you're tired of being late and want more time to act on these opportunities, just head over to our website where you can see in real time when and which stocks wealthy investors are trading on Wall Street, so that you can have the same opportunities as the rich. Because if the rich get richer, why shouldn't you? Now, with that said, even though this is higher risk, we still traded this because this was still an unusual trade being opened right before earnings. How did we know these were new opening trades and not closing trades? Well, let's check if this wealthy investor is actually opening a new trade and not simply closing a previous trade. To do that, let's first see how many open contracts existed before this unusual trade was made. So this is the historical data from August 26, the day before this unusual option activity happened on August 27th. And so looking at the September 19 options, at the 24 strike calls, the open interest was 8,529 open contracts. And at the 28 strike calls, there were 5,661 open contracts. Now, if those 6,500 contracts that were just traded on August 27th are new opening contracts, then the open interest should be more now, adding to these previously opened contracts. So let's check the updated data now on the option chain for these same September 19 options at the 24 strike calls and the 28 strike calls. And we can see here at the 24 strike calls that the open interest has now jumped to over 16,000 open contracts, a significant increase from 8,000 open contracts previously. And at the 28 strike calls, we have over 12,000 open contracts now, which is also a large increase from the 5,000 open contracts previously. So this confirms that those 6,500 contracts were new opening trades because they were added to the open interest. We always take this extra step to verify the data at a deeper level because many other websites and scanners don't. They report all high volume unusual trades without filtering out closing trades, which leads to wrong results and losses for those following unusual option activity. And that is why our deeper analysis gives us more winning trades than other websites. And in this case, our analysis confirmed it. This was a new trade opened by this wealthy investor, not a closing trade. So now, with that confirmation, we bought these 24 strike calls and got into the same position, marked as POS, which stands for our position. The green color indicates a buy position. And we sold these 28 strike calls and also got into the same position. The red color means a sell position, because based on our deep research across multiple variables and other data sets, this wealthy investor bought these 24 strike calls and sold these 28 strike calls, setting up a vertical call spread option strategy for a price of $69 each, which is the same price as we calculated and saw earlier on the options time and sales tape. And so when we analyze this trade, you can see here on the risk profile graph where the profit or loss shows up here, and the x-axis represents the share price of the stock, which is currently trading over here, and the y-axis represents the amount of profit or loss. Note the zero break-even line over here. And so when the purple line, which represents the current date, and the blue line, which represents the option's expiration date, are trading below this zero break-even line, as the share price goes down, this trade becomes more negative, more loss. And as the share price goes up, this trade becomes more positive, more profitable, because it's going long bullish on Gap stock. We can also confirm that by checking the options Greeks. This trade has a positive delta, which means it's positioned long and bullish. If it was a short bearish trade, we would see a negative delta instead. But keep in mind the risk with this trade. It has a negative theta, which means it loses value over time due to time decay. And that is why you can see here the purple line drops down lower to the blue line as we approach the option's expiration date. Since these options lose value through time, the break even on this trade moves higher as time goes on. And so you can see here, even though the call options we bought have a strike price of $24, the stock needs to trade above $24.69 per share for this trade to be profitable at expiration. Because of this added risk, along with other factors, including earnings, we only took a small position in this trade. We don't invest a lot of capital into these higher risk trades. Instead, we focus most of our capital on lower risk, higher probability of profit trades, the kind of trades we share on our website. We'll put a link to our website here where you can also learn more strategies to increase your profits. And if you want a sneak peek at a real example of our past membership trade on Gap earlier this year, which made over 500% profit, we'll link that here. Take care and have a wonderful day.